I'm Jessie Heredia, and you're listening to Mom Empowered, where I help moms ditch their anger, break free from anxiety, and create the life they've always wanted. This show is for the mom who's ready to become more free and empowered. Hello, ladies. I am popping in to offer you guys a word of encouragement, but also maybe some hard truth that has been coming up a lot for me lately, especially in this season, and has been coming up a lot for my clients. So I just wanted to pass along these things to you because I know that many of you guys are asking yourself the same question. You're wrestling through the same things. You're feeling maybe the same discouragement. And I just want to speak to that today. So today I'm talking about the myth of arriving. And when I say arriving, what I mean is somehow attaining or reaching this point where you don't have to put in the work anymore. You don't have to work on your thoughts anymore. You are totally in control of your emotions. Life is just amazing, and you always are doing the right thing and exercising restraint and on top of your goals and always pursuing the best habits. There is this myth that this is attainable, that at some point we will be able to just be okay and not have to continue to invest in our growth and not have to continue to put in the work. And I want to speak against that myth today. I want to share with you guys the truth. And part of that, I think, involves me being vulnerable about some of the ways that I haven't yet arrived and how I have learned to be okay with the process of being in process. Because we are all in process, okay? None of us have arrived and none of us will arrive. In fact, if you think you have arrived, you very much have not. So this is what we're talking about today. And the reason why this even started coming up is because in the past couple of weeks, I have been having my last sessions with all of my clients for this season. And for our last sessions, it has been, first of all, has been very touching to just hear them share like how they feel about their journey. Some of them I worked with for just 3 months. Some of them I've been working with for 6 months. That's half a year that we have spent together. And I mean, I could just cry just thinking about how proud I am of each and every one of them for showing up on calls, for putting in the work, for challenging themselves, for asking tough questions and being willing to be asked tough questions because I don't go easy on them. I'm here to coach them and challenge them and push them to their fullest potential. Well, for these last sessions with each of my clients, what I've been doing most often is reviewing the goals that we initially set together. Because whenever I start working with a new client, the very first thing we do is we talk about what are your goals. And in fact, we don't just talk about it, I write it down. I keep a record because I personally always want to be able to look back and see like, okay, like this is the direction they want to head in. These are the biggest priorities for them. This is what they're hoping for. This is what we're working toward. And I also like to have it on hand because sometimes they forget, what their original goals were too. So it's so good to have that on hand. But for these last sessions, we've been reviewing these goals, the ones that they set way back at the beginning of our time. And we're talking about each and every one. And I'm having them kind of process through, do they feel like they met that goal? How do they feel about the progress that they've made in pursuit of those goals? And like I said, hearing about their growth has just been so touching for me. It's just been so powerful, so incredible. And seeing them acknowledge their wins and acknowledge the goals that they're meeting, whether it's that they wanted to strengthen their marriage, or they wanted to be more patient and gentle as a mom, or maybe they wanted to feel more confident as an entrepreneur, or they wanted to create a routine that they could actually stick to. They wanted to overcome some of the procrastination or the mental hangups and the mind drama that was keeping them feeling stuck in place. No matter what their goals are, we've been examining those together, and it's been so fun. But in many cases, I am also hearing them express a little bit of I don't even know how to describe it. It's either like a sorrow or a longing or maybe even like a discouragement. But almost all of them have asked, after walking through all these goals, they ask, man, I kind of like thought that I would feel like I'm done by now. like I arrived. Like now I am exactly where I want to be and the work is finished and I can just enjoy my life as it is. And it's just so funny, like how often I am hearing this from them. And I get it, like I really do. It's just across the board. Like I keep getting this response. Like I just kind of thought that like I wouldn't like this would be it. Like, it's been 3 months or it's been 6 months. I did the program, I put in the work. Like, oh, I still have to navigate this. Like, I still have to work on my thoughts. I'm still having to manage my emotions. Like, gosh, I kind of just thought that like once I became this self-actualized person, the work would be done. There would be no more. I thought that I would have by now arrived. That's the response that I'm getting. And the very first thing I say to them is like, what are you talking about? Arriving is a myth. You will never arrive. But I also have become very convicted lately because I'm just not so certain that I have communicated as clearly and as boldly as I should have about this subject. Because when I offer a program where I say, we're going to help you reach your goals, I'm going to teach you how to work on your thoughts, manage your emotions, create the life you want, I think that for some people, when they read this, they think that again, like there will be a point where they arrive and they learn how to do these things and they will never have to purposefully exercise those things again because suddenly things won't feel challenging or life will just be easy peasy or new trials won't come up or mind drama from the past won't resurface. Like those are the things that I think maybe I have not been as clear on. And I wonder if even in the way that I have portrayed myself to you guys has maybe failed to communicate that truth clearly as well. So today I want to talk about arriving. Clearly, I mean, it's something that I've been thinking a lot about, but I want to talk about the ways that I myself I still have not yet arrived. And some of the things that I still am navigating through, and I'm having to purposefully put a lot of work and energy and time into. So that's what today's live is about. It's about me kind of just like sharing parts of my journey with you that maybe you've seen little bits and pieces of in my posts, but maybe you kind of like have a thought in your head that, again, like I'm an empowered mom, so everything is just easy peasy and life is dandy, and I can promise you guys that it is not. So I know that back in the spring, I shared with many of you guys have been around since then. So you saw when I announced, our very unexpected, unplanned baby number 3, who is continuing to cook in this belly, but will be here very shortly. I cannot believe it's been 9 months already. But you guys, I shared very openly about how unexpected this was and how I had a lot of fears, a lot of doubts, and a lot of questions about it. I had just reached a point where like my business was starting to grow. I felt like we were in such a good groove. Like my girls, like they were just thriving. Our whole family, like we were just in a really great season. And we did not anticipate expanding our family in that way. In fact, we had a bedroom set up for who was supposed to be our foster daughter. We had become certified foster parents. We put in a lot of time and energy into that. And, we got the bigger car and we had everything all set up and all prepared, and boom, you're pregnant. And all of a sudden, just nothing felt certain anymore. I didn't feel confident anymore. And I had a lot of fears revolving around this pregnancy. My past pregnancies, I did not have the easiest pregnancies. In some ways, they were easier than others, but in many ways, they wore on me. And so the thought of being pregnant again, especially during a year where I wanted to feel so on top of my game, I wanted to be like the best coach and just be so amazing. Like suddenly I had to really cope with this reality of, okay, like this year is not going to look the way I thought it might look. In fact, I might not look like the woman that I want to be. And that was very scary for me. And I remember, like, I think it was like the very first day that I peed on the stick and got the positive pregnancy test. I reached out to my coach, like, in hysterics, like, I cannot fathom this. What does this mean? Like, it just feels like my life is over, which sounds so dramatic now, but that was truly how I felt my life is over. And she really helped me work through all of that mind drama that I was having. She spoke truths over me that I, at the time, like, even though I was a coach who was empowering women, every week I'm getting on calls and I'm helping them work on their thoughts. We're talking about their emotions and, replacing lies with truths. Even though this is the job that I do, this is what I do for a living, I myself could not fathom doing this work over my own pregnancy, over speaking this truth over my own life. And so I needed my coach in that moment to really speak declarations over me. And she said things to me like, you know what? Like, this is a blessing because you're going to show these women what it looks like to grow a baby and grow a business at the same time. You are not the same mom that you were 2 years ago. You will not have the same pregnancy you had 2 years ago. You have tools now. You have resources now. Like, you have grown. I needed to hear her speak those things over me because, again, my mind was not in the place where I was receiving that. I had worked on so many other fears in my life. I'd worked on my thoughts in so many other areas, but this was one I did not anticipate. So having her speak that over me and having her help me work through this was really so crucial to me. I would not be where I am today. This pregnancy would not have been what it was, which, by the way, has been my best, healthiest, easiest, most enjoyable pregnancy that I've had. This has been the best year of my life, despite so much happening this year that none of us anticipated. And not just talking about the pregnancy, but like COVID, hello. So I forget where I was going with that, but I've exceeded my expectations, my own expectations for this pregnancy. This pregnancy has exceeded what I believed would be true from back where I was in the spring. And this whole pregnancy, I've been having to continually work to maintain this frame of mind. I've been having to do the thoughts and manage my emotions and just coach myself so hard, almost daily sometimes, because the things will keep coming up. I never fully arrived. I never reached the point where this pregnancy was just the most amazing thing ever and I didn't have any hangups about it. I never fully arrived. And I feel like some of you ladies just need to know that. You need to know that at 38 weeks pregnant, where I am right now, literally could go into labor at any moment, I have still not fully arrived because, there's like that saying, new levels, new devils. And I'm telling you guys, like, there will always be something to keep working on. Lately, for me, it hasn't been the pregnancy that I've had a lot of fears about because I've already exceeded my expectations. I have proven to myself, like, I do get to grow a baby and grow a business at the same time, and it feels amazing. I am a more empowered mom because of this pregnancy, not less of one. That has been so powerful for me. But, as I said, new levels, new devils. Now, I am having to navigate the mind drama and the hang-ups and the fears and the doubts about postpartum, about starting over. The work that I'm having to put in, like, it's not yet done. It will never be done. I'm still having to grow and challenge myself and be challenged by my coach and work on my thoughts, and even just this past week, this was a very big reason for why I wanted to show up live today too. Just this past week, I'm on a call with my coach. It was a group call. So when things get real vulnerable, it's kind of a little bit awkward because people are just watching you fall apart. And man, I do fall apart. But like, I'm on this call and I'm crying and I'm just saying, like, I don't know what this is supposed to look like when this baby comes. What if, like, I don't want to coach anymore? Like, that's a really big fear I have. Or what if I can't coach in the way I want to coach anymore? What if I don't get to build my business the way that I want to? Or what if I'm just not happy? Like, I have a lot of fears of what starting over, with baby number 3, what postpartum will be like. There's a lot of unknowns. But again, she helped me navigate through those fears, helped me tackle these thoughts one by one. She's speaking truth over me, saying like, hey, you exceeded your expectations with your pregnancy. You're going to exceed your expectations with this baby. You will, and one of my fears is like, well, I don't know if I want to, I don't know how I'm going to juggle taking calls while also taking care of a baby. And she's like, why can't you do it at the same time? Why can't you? Why wouldn't you want to be on a call holding your baby and being an example to other moms of what it looks like to build a business as a mom? Like, that is the empowered thing to do. That is what you need to be doing. That's what these moms need to see. Otherwise, you are setting yourself up to be the impossible standard. And hearing those words, impossible standard, it just was like, oh, like a gut punch. So convicting, because I don't want to be an impossible standard for you guys. I want to be an example of what is possible, what was possible for me, what's possible for you, what's possible for every mom. And I can't properly do that without reminding you that, once again, I have not arrived. I will never have arrived, and that there are tough things that I myself am still having to navigate through. It's so funny when I'm on calls with clients and they talk about like, oh man, the other day I totally lost it on my kid and I was screaming and yelling and I just, threw a big fit. And I was like, girl, I've been there. That was me last week. And they're like, what? Like, oh, you still have moments like that too? And there's almost like, oh, like they can breathe. Because maybe up until that point, they had kind of thought like, or maybe they were holding their breath, like, okay, like maybe if I put in so much work, I'm going to be perfect. Like Jesse's going to help make me be perfect. And then as time goes on, they realize that the same struggles are still surfacing and they're still having to use tools, use resources, use new knowledge and skills to work through those problems. I think that like it's a really big revelation for them when they realize like, oh, Jesse still has to do this. Yeah, girl, I do. I really, truly do. A lot of you guys know my story of walking through postpartum rage and having anger toward my husband, being an abusive wife, being controlling, being demeaning, and really having to heal and grow and be transformed in so many different ways. And that's, even why I am where I am today with this ministry and this business. Like, it came out of that hard stuff. But just because I'm on the other side, not saying I've arrived, but I'm somewhat on the other side, doesn't mean that I don't still struggle. Girl, I still yell. I still throw fits. I still get controlling. My marriage still has tough times. It really, truly does. The difference now, though, is that, again, I have tools now. I have resources. I know how to not let things get out of hand. I have tools that work and that recenter me. I know how to coach myself. I know how to manage my emotions instead of just feel like a slave to them. I know how to take my thoughts captive instead of letting them run rampant and become so unbearably intrusive. I'm a lot quicker to forgive and a lot quicker to offer grace to others and to myself. These are the ways that I have grown because I'm doing the work, I'm learning skills, I'm growing as a person, and I will continue to have to grow. My work is not done. It will never be done. I will never arrive. This is something that I want to start making so much more clear to you guys and so much more clear to my clients. Like, the work that we do together will not guarantee you or anybody the perfect marriage, or that you'll be the perfect mom, or that you'll just have this perfect life, and that somehow like you will never have to relearn things or practice things or put in the effort to take your thoughts captive, put in the effort to manage your emotions. The truth is that the work we do together is teaching you how to do those things, how to have skills and use tools to master your thoughts and manage your emotions and become more empowered, more of the women you were created to be. But nothing about your life will look perfect because of that. Nothing in your life will look perfect. In fact, I want to even say that everything in your life becomes easier, because it might not. It might not be easier. But what will be different is that you will feel more empowered to face what is hard, to face the difficult circumstances, to face the hard truths about yourself that are maybe kind of ugly. Like, we're all sinners and we're all messy and we're all human and flawed, and we experience so much just sometimes unbearable human emotion. But that's why, I just want to come on today and just encourage you guys. Like this is an ongoing battle, I guess you could say, but it's a good one. Even just this morning, I was at the park and I was worshiping and with my AirPods while I was walking around the track and not running, just walking. Gosh, I miss running so much. I'm just walking around the track and I was listening to the song "Another in the Fire" by Hillsong. And there's this one line in the song that, man, just really sticks with me. And it says, "I'll count the joy come every battle, because I know that's where you'll be." And that's the one last word of encouragement I want to leave with you guys. The battle you are still fighting, this journey you are still walking on, these are not things to be feared or things to be avoided, but they're opportunities for you to lean into the Lord and to really experience more closeness with Him than ever before. He is with you. This is where He is. This work of, learning how to work on your thoughts, work on your emotions, become more empowered, strengthen your marriage. Like, this work, He is with you in that. He is good that you have not arrived. Because if you had arrived, then you would be missing out on the time where He's able to be your comforter and be your provider and teach you how to be truly dependent on Him. And you'll be missing out on the opportunity for you to grow in ways that you didn't even know you needed to grow. So I just wanted to again, encourage you, ladies. I just want to encourage you. I want to empower you. I want to be vulnerable with you. I want to share some of the hard stuff with you and let you guys know that it's okay that you have not yet arrived, because you will never arrive. I will never arrive. We will never be done with putting in the work. And again, that's not something to be feared. That's not something to be discouraged about. That's not something to fight against, but something to lean into, because it is good that we are in process. This is the human experience. This is the life that God created for us, and He is with us every step of the way. I am rooting for you, ladies. And I'm here for you in any way that I can be. I love you guys, and I'm just so excited to be able to serve you in the capacity that I'm able to, and just thank you for even walking with me on my journey, just as I'm walking with you on yours.